committee. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Douglas Orr. I'm the mayor, and I would like to call this meeting to order Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Director Williams, give the roll call.
Francie?
Here.
Aiken?
Here.
Hi, I'm Ralph from Ward 4, and I am echoing.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone. I like it. Hey, I'm Ralph from Ward 4. I came here about a couple weeks ago to talk about a cleanup that we did last month on the 25th. We had 11 people show up. We pulled a bunch of tires out, and I guess I've got 2 kudos from that. Aside from just seeing citizens come together, including a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old who asked their mom if they could come up there. But that was super cool. This is up by 9th Avenue. Number one, the cooperation from Rick and the Public Works. He said, actually his group provided the garbage bags. Those are the garbage bags we used. And he said, just leave the stuff. Let us know when it's there. We'll pick it up. And on Monday morning, it was gone. Everything was picked up like clockwork. Really, really good partnership. And then number 2, once again, Councilmember Francie came and joined us on the cleanup. Having done 3 of these now over the last year, I know how much work goes into putting it together and in doing the work. And I can't think of the tens or how many cleanups Councilmember Francie has done in our community, sometimes alone in the rain. And when I think like a word, I think like local hero. I don't know. I just want to say like Councilmember Francie is really, really. We're doing another one on July 5th, day after 4th of July, on the south side of the bridge. We'll put some stuff out on Facebook to try to get folks. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is I saw that the Broadway project was on the agenda. I don't know if this is what I think it is. I've been hearing rumors about like hopefully closing some areas to car traffic. I did a little bit of research. I saw that the city of Lodi, California, 70,000 people, had published in 2022 the findings of pedestrianization, right? Closing your downtown areas, some of your parts of downtown to car traffic in favor of foot traffic. And they found 60 new businesses opened up after that. This is like during COVID, right? So like a 2 or 3 year period. They had vacancies reduced from 18% down to 6%. And they saw retail tax value over that time period increase 30%, due to this pedestrianization combined with economic incentives. So as a resident here who's responding to what I assume is rumor mongering around, the Broadway project, I hope it is what I think it is, because that sounds super, super cool for our area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Kathy Thomas, Ward 5. Okay, on the, you're asking for 150,000 expenditure for public outreach and the preliminary design for the Broadway project. So you're like piggybacking those together? That's the one topic I wanted an answer for. And the other one was, the traffic study that you said you were given a grant and the money for. I want to know how much the grant was, and is the traffic study done? And is it going to be published for the public to see it before you start out trying to get 150,000 to do more? And I understand you said that some company is supplying all the lumber and stuff for this, but can there be more output to the public so we know what's going on?
Hello, Casey Morrison, Ward 1. I recently attended the town hall at Robert Gray, and I want to commend the council and staff for continuing this vital community outreach. It's evident from the discussions that this council cares a great deal about revitalizing downtown. However, I was disappointed by a comment from Council President Swore in regard to public safety complaints in downtown core. She noted that she works in downtown and has never had an issue at night going from her business to her car, which is great. She stated that she believes the real problem is a narrative issue and one she wants to work to address. So in that spirit, I surveyed folks and solicited their narratives, their experiences with downtown. Here's a brief summary of those responses. From Donald E. He had a business downtown, East Wishkah Street, for about 15 years. It progressively got so bad that nobody wanted to visit downtown because of violence. I witnessed firsthand vandalism, destruction of property, harassment, assaults, drug use, and sales, screaming, yelling obscenities, on and on. We finally moved 2 years ago to West Wishkah, and it's getting bad there also. From West J. I've called law numerous times in the past month now because of people smoking dope off of foil at Safeway. One was jumping out in traffic with a tire iron, swinging at people and cars, and another had a bag going after random people. From Gail A. I have called the police many times begging for help. People ramming shopping carts into glass windows, filling cans with paper and lighter fluids, plain kick the can. Animals yelling at me, calling me names, hitting me when they dropped stuff they were hiding under their coats. If you count them all, she used to have a shop at the mall, dragging me across the counter, knocking my teeth out. I could go on. I wish I would have never come to Aberdeen. Before I came here, I sold at Pike Place Market and Pioneer Square, all over the state. Yes, it's dangerous all over. Maybe it's my age, but now I'm afraid to step out the door. 3 people overdosed at the doors of my store. She sent a picture. She said that she assumed that person, one of them didn't make it. I see this in my mind every day when I come to open. Thank you to the city worker boys who came with bleach to clean the body fluids after the guy was hauled way in front of my door. From Sharon S., we had gone to a memorial performance at Nessie Jesse's. After the show, when we were walking towards our car, a tweaker who had earlier relieved himself in the alley began screaming and beating the windows across the street. He realized I was with 2 bigger guys. We were watching him, so he started screaming again. This is the same man that the cops deal with during the daytime. He's violent, unpredictable, and he's a menace to downtown. From Rebecca T.
Violet Morrison, Ward 1. I'll also be talking about the narratives. From Katie A. I often see guys pissing in store front doorways. From Jen L.
I have seen people taking a crap on the sidewalk in broad daylight. I've seen people so completely out of it, I couldn't tell the difference between them and a zombie. I've seen people who were clearly on something, but also very aggressive and angry. On a recent Sunday, my grandbaby had her first birthday, sorry, at Sunbend Park. A man wearing a blanket in 85-degree heat approached the food table aggressively. He had his umbrella, his umbrella to hit balloons, but never spoke. He began approaching guests aggressively without speaking at all, but I was able to redirect him and run him off. From Judy L, I have my eyes open every day when I leave work. Downtown is not safe. Do people not see what goes on in the alleys? I'm moving as soon as I can. Sad, I've lived here my entire life, but this city and state is a complete mess. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to council president's sworn consent agenda.
Motion to refer to the consent agenda, which includes minutes from the April 2019 accounts payable and payroll.
Second.
Seconded by person Nefford. For any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor's report tonight, that I am going to note that we have an opening right now on our Economic Development Advisory Committee, and we also have an opening on our Arts Commission. So if you are interested, or you know anybody who might be a good fit, please have them send me an email. Thank you very much. We'll go on to council reports with regards to
Perfect, thank you. This month, we officially sent our students to the Skills USA and the FFA Nationals. We also are sending the Aberdeen High School Band to Idaho on Saturday to perform at the Silverwood Spring Fair. Also, May 31st from 12 to 4:30 p.m., the cheer team at the high school is doing a car wash across from AM PM, and just donate whatever to get your car washed. On Wednesday, the 20th, I will receive a silver and gold award presented to only 10 seniors from Aberdeen and Oakland each year. And additionally, on the 28th, students in the CNA program at the high school will participate in their pinning ceremony, recognizing the completion of their course. During that ceremony, I will receive an additional 3 pins, allowing me to graduate high school with 4 different medical certifications, which has not been done yet. I also sent a letter to the governor, Bob Ferguson, and plan to send a follow one up soon to meet with him or members of his cabinet to discuss the importance of youth involvement around the state and government. This is something that will take time, and I plan to continue working on it even when my term is over as student representative. Thank you.
the other council reports. Councilperson Brand.
I took part in the Parks Board. There was some forums to talk about. There was discussion of the priorities of the Parks Department. Also took part in the Southwest Regional Transportation Planning Organization meeting today. That's all I have.
Councilperson Shaw.
Yeah, I attended the federally sponsored Pathways to Safer Rail Crossings webinar and educational meeting this last week on the 6th. And report that there's another $2.23 billion available for that issue, available federally. The city was awarded a grant for related work on quiet zone establishment last year. And I've been asked a number of times, including at the recent town hall. That project, my understanding of the deliverables starts with us hosting public engagement. So I'd like to get an update, if we could, at the next meeting on where we are in that process so that we can answer people on where we are in that grant cycle.
Thank you.
Like, give a little record. Okay, can you hear me now? Am I on the, okay, good. So I went to the meeting that Ruth put together with the service organizations, and I've been asking for that for years, and that was an excellent meeting. I thought Ruth did a wonderful job with it, and we made some headway, I feel like, and we've got a lot more to do. I'm looking forward to working with them and seeing how they can help Aberdeen meet the issues and problems that we have. And so I just wanted to give kudos to Ruth for that, and I look forward to accomplishing more.
Thank you. Any other, I mean, oh, yeah. Council President.
On May 4th, I attended the Economic Development Advisory Committee meeting. I will be stepping on to that committee. And just a slight correction for you, Mr. Mayor, we actually have 2 open seats on that committee for anyone that's interested in serving on it. And that same week, we hosted the first town hall for wards 4, 5, and 6 at Robert Gray. Despite some issues with sound, I thought many good conversations were had and lots of information was exchanged.
Anyone else? Okay, we move on to staff reports with Administrator Friends.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week we met with Portland Lou, Councilmember Deb Wilson attended that to discuss the cost of and just any kind of information that we might gain from the learning more about the Portland Blue and if it's a right fit for our city. So as you can see here, I have a 3D printout that they mailed us, and so that if you want to look at this later, you can check this out and what it looks like on the inside. And then also when the mayor and I went to Port Angeles to meet with their city manager and their mayor, we did get to see their Portland Loo and their setup. And then Councilmember Ellis and I also looked in Olympia at their Portland Loo. So we have some perspective on the impacts of having a Portland Loo in their downtown. So happy to discuss that further, but that might be something since I've heard from the council, maybe I can get an official motion so I can move forward and I'll bring a quote to you. Basically, I received a quote. It is a lot lower than it was, I believe, when we had spoken to them initially, or maybe a couple years ago. So hopefully that might be something that the council may want to invest in. And met also with Big Belly trash receptacles. We have 8 garbage cans that we installed downtown. And so we put in the budget this year to purchase 8 more. I'm looking at 3 of them being installed at Morrison Park. That seems to be kind of a problematic area for garbage. So but pretty quickly, and we also have people that rummage. So I'm working with the downtown cleanup crew for them to provide me information on which garbage cans are giving them are the hardest areas to clean because people are rifling through it or animals are getting into them. So I can place these strategically and move the other garbages around to other parks that maybe aren't as problematic. But more to come on that. As Councilmember Hodgkin stated, we did have a community resource organization forum, which I felt was a very good start. I've also already met with our managers and teams to kind of coordinate and figure out a process that we can implement to provide some response. Today, Councilmembers Wilson and Moynihan attended, and I didn't see anyone else on, but attended. AWC has a grant. They have about $1.2 million available to cities that want to implement a co-response program. The city of Shelton stated that they received about $180,000. So this could be a good way for us to get a program off the ground. We already have a commitment from CAP, from DHR to be co-responders for us. And so we're getting letters of support from them. And right now we're also kind of putting together a program. CAP was available, CAP was present, DHR, DSHS, County Public Health, Family Promise. There were a lot of groups there. And again, we engaged in a really, really great conversation around the idea of coordination. Town Hall was successful as well. Thank you to all of those who attended. The next one will be at Miller Junior High, again at 5:30. It's for wards 1, 2, and 3, but if certainly anyone from the public can attend that. I did speak with, the principal, John Mears, and he's stated again, they're a one mic kind of a school too. So I will work with him and see what we can do, if we could hardwire in or something, so apologies in advance. So, I think that's all. I will be giving a report on the first quarter, metrics as well. So are there any questions?
I guess wait till we get.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. Are there any director reports? Okay, we'll move on to presentation, doing the first quarter performance metrics, again, administrator comments.
All right, thank you. First quarters are typically slow, especially in the realm of public works, so we'll see more activity once the weather gets better. So this report is pretty minimal because of that, so, but I wanted to report out on them, and what we're comparing, I'm taking the first quarter from last year and comparing it to this year, so we can see the growth or the areas where we didn't experience growth. Again, the mission statement that all of you created is the mission of the city of Aberdeen is to serve with transparency and integrity, provide dependable services and public safety, to honor our history and be stewards of our natural, cultural, and economic resources. The vision for the city is, as the metropolitan hub for the coastal region, Aberdeen is a happy, safe, healthy, thriving community with clean air and beautiful spaces where people want to live, work, play, and visit. So our council priorities that were identified in our strategic planning sessions were workforce engagement and development, vibrant, safe, and healthy community, fiscal responsibility, economic development, infrastructure investment, and communication and outreach. And again, this is going to be a very slim, we'll have a more robust report out in the second quarter once things start. We start being able to gather more information. For workforce engagement and outreach, that's collaboration and professional development. We are meeting our goal of our monthly and quarterly scheduled safety meetings and trainings, and we wanted to increase compliance for necessary trainings. We are meeting that goal as well. For vibrant, safe, and healthy community, we focus on economic development, neighborhood connections, public safety, and revitalization. For this particular quarter, we focused on our business inspections. That's from a fire perspective, from the fire marshal. So we are already up 3. He averaged about 10 per quarter, and so for this quarter, he was able to complete 13 inspections. So we're up, that's good. Great. Fiscal responsibility, we will be able to report that out in the second quarter. And we have employee accountability, employee health and wellness, strengthening our finances and strengthening our policies. We typically focus on our business licensing activities and accounts payable activities when it comes to fiscal responsibility. So first quarter, I was not able to gather information, but I will be able to report out on this at the second quarter. For economic development, we asked the question, how well do we support our businesses and development? And the way that the city supports that is through our permitting process, through and our building inspections that we provide, and that's all through community development. Last year we issued, in the first quarter, we issued 374. This year we issued 248 completed permits under 30 days, and we have 18 ready for payment. We issued 10 completed permits in 30 to 90 days. 6 of those were applicant delayed. Sub-permits, we issued only 1, which is just 1 more than we did last year around this time. And then project delayed with review 2, which is, that's good. That's that any kind of delays that way, we try to point that out because those are delays that are not caused by the city. And then those that are ready for payment are 1. So those are permits that have been reviewed and they're just waiting for the permittee to pay. We conducted 462, a number that's down for building inspections. Again, I would like to reiterate that we have one building official and one person, a specialist that assists him. So those are really high numbers for only 2 people getting that work done, especially in 1 quarter. Last year, we conducted 40 rental inspections, and this year she was able to, and again, this is just one person doing this, she was able to get 71 done in this quarter. Our property maintenance inspections came in at 45 and electrical inspections came in at 323. And for our electrical inspections, we only have 2 people doing that job. So for them to get that many done in a quarter is very good as well. And so for communications and outreach, we focus on communications, employee accountability, neighborhood connections, partnerships, public safety, and revitalization. This is typically where we would get park information. We don't have many sports over the winter season, so I will be able to bring more, once the weather is better, I'll be able to bring more information from parks. And so another thing we wanted to measure was we wanted to increase the number of festivals and events held in Aberdeen. It's winter, so it's a little bit slower around. I looked with Downtown Aberdeen Association on multiple groups that host events for the months of January, February, and March. There weren't as many events, but one of the events I think we talked about it at the last workshop was a golf pub crawl event, again, which brought about 60 teams of 4 people. So that was good. And then the mayor and I have also attended new business ribbon cutting events, multiple new business ribbon cutting events through Greater Grace Harbor, just in Aberdeen alone. And as you heard from Ralph earlier today during public comment, we've seen an increase in community cleanup events, especially from one group called the Chehalis Stewardship Project. They have organized at least 3 or 4 in the last 2 months that I know of, cleanups. One as recent as this weekend, where they clean up different parts and different waterways around the city. So we're starting to see a lot of grassroots volunteer groups start to pop up in the area in the city, and that's good. We see more civic involvement as well. So, are there any questions about my report? Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go on to a request for council actions with Finance Chair Trader.
Nothing to ask for and nothing to report.
Oh, sir. Next, Public Works with Chairperson Clancy.
Skip one, but might as well go. We had our usual committee meeting earlier today. We had a good lively discussion. We have 5 items tonight. First one is a report requesting authorization for the mayor to execute task order number 7, the Sage Geotechnical, for design plans for the Fairview Reservoir number 1 slopes stability project. I move that we accept this report.
Excellent.
It's been seconded by Councilperson Hodgkin. Is there any discussion? Until we're asking if there's a request for authorization for the mayor to execute task order number 07 with Sage Geotechnical for design plans for the Fairview Reservoir number 1 slope stability project. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our second item is requesting authorization for the mayor to submit a request letter to the GHC Foundation for 4.1 million for the capital improvements to the library building and to approve the amended contract with MS and would we accept this report.
Second.
That's seconded by Councilperson Kemper. Is there any discussion?
Yes. There.
Yes.
So, I thank you for hearing this tonight. We do you have a couple people who would really like to get up, and before you guys take a vote and talk a little bit. First, I have Joel from Amoresco, who is overseeing this project, as well as the library board, because part of this process is the library board has to give their approval to city council, and then city council sends it off to the foundation. So we have some people here tonight that would really like to talk about this process and the excitement of moving forward. So first I'll start with Joel, and then we'll go to the library board, and then Evie from TRL also will say something.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'm Joel Hansen from Amoresco. Excited to be at this point. We've been working with city staff and the library staff for quite a while now. Geez, how long has it been, Ruth? But to try and get this project off the ground, and I know that it's a project that the city has attempted a couple of times before, and we think that it's really a good investment in downtown Aberdeen. It'll create some activity, some buzz, some excitement, and our goal as developers of the project is to get the library building in tip-top shape so that it doesn't need anything more for decades. The scope of the project is, as you know, or is in your packet, is HVAC, lighting, elevator reconditioning, plumbing, and then some tenant improvement stuff to create some safe, some better safe spaces for the children and for the employees of the library. Right now, it's really an open floor plan, and one of the changes that we've worked so hard to get into the project came from requests from the library staff, is that the children's area be able to be behind a door that locks in case of an emergency, and the same with some staffing areas that are that way. So we're excited about the project. I will say, when we started down this road, our initial estimates were around 6 million. We've worked really hard to bring that number down and get bids from subcontractors and vendors. And now we're at the point that with your approval tonight, we can start ordering some of the equipment, the HVAC equipment, the elevator equipment, which has lead times of about 6 months, which puts us at a construction window right where we want it to be at in the middle of winter, when the library is kind of has its least amount of use. There will be disruption, and the building will be closed for a period of time during construction, if you approve the contract. But we think that that's the least disruption to the community, to have it right there in the middle of winter. So I'm happy to take questions, but I'll step aside for the library board folks to say what they want to say as well. So happy to answer questions after they speak as well.
Thanks.
Good evening. Whoops. Good evening. I'm Thursday Phone. I'm here on behalf of the City of Aberdeen Library Advisory Board. And I have members Becky Durr and Linda Orville are here too, and some of the friends of the library also here. I'm also a librarian, retired librarian. I've worked 31 years in several different branches of the Timberland Regional Library System. During my 21 years at the Aberdeen Library, I participated in a remodel in 1999 to 2000. Maybe some of you remember that remodel. Now, the city of Aberdeen, who owns the Aberdeen Library building and Timberland, owns the materials and pays the staff for planning another. As directed by the City of Aberdeen Municipal Code for the Library Advisory Board, the city and members of the Library Advisory Board have reviewed the proposal from Amoresco to update energy efficiency measures to the Aberdeen Library. And the Library Advisory Board is recommending that this project is an appropriate use of money in the Catherine Insure Fund held by the Grace Harbor Community Foundation. Following the donor's wishes, we would like to recommend to the City Council that we use money from that fund which was given to the Aberdeen Library in 1999 specifically for use on the facility. You've already heard from Mr. Hansen that the energy efficiency measures they plan to put in place, so I won't go over those. And the Library Advisory Board members have determined, to the best of our ability, that the Amoresco proposal is consistent with the goals and activities of the Aberdeen Library. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Abby Buell, Regional Manager for West Grace Harbor, Timberland Regional Library. I'll keep my comments brief. In the break room at the Aberdeen Library, there is a newspaper clipping that's up on the bulletin board, and it says "Library Remodel Back on Track" from 2018. This has been a really long project in the making. I'm just so appreciative to the city. I wanted to say thank you to the city for considering this project and for putting so much work into it. Thanks to Amoresco for what they're contributing to this project and what the building's going to be as a result. Thanks to the Library Advisory Board for their input and their support all the way along. And same for the Friends of the Aberdeen Library, who provide so much support and input and guidance when we need it. So just really thank you. And if there's, on behalf of all the staff who works at the Aberdeen Library, and if there's anything we can ever do for you, please just say the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to also point out that the things that we're doing to the library, like, I don't know exactly how much of it is aesthetic. A lot of it is just much needed maintenance. There were several days, not only last year, but since I've been here, that the libraries had to close because the heat didn't work. And they have a rule that if the heat drops below a certain level, it doesn't work. That also the software that runs the HVAC system is so outdated that we can't find anybody to work on it. So they haven't been able to control the heat or the air in so long. They've also had several issues as many unhoused individuals try to escape the heat and go into the library, where I believe they've had to shut down because it was too hot in the library. The elevator is out of date and it was similar to our elevator. So all of you are very familiar of having to climb stairs or be in the building with an outdated elevator that possibly couldn't pass L&I or they run out of parts for. So I just want to reiterate that, like, a lot of the things that we're having to do are because of the lack of maintenance that haven't been tended to for decades. So if you're expecting this big grand, remodel with marble floors, I don't know what you're expecting. It's not going to be that. It's going to be like very, we're going to just take care of the really big things that need to be taken care of. So thank you to the library board for your review and your participation in the project. We really appreciate it. And TRL as well for the partnership, and Amoresco, and a special thanks to Lisa Scott for her hard work in managing the project on behalf of the city.
Mayor. I am on the library board, and they are a delightful group of women. And we welcome you tonight to City Council. They're wonderful. They devote their time, and they make our community a much nicer place. So welcome tonight.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this? None, I guess we
I have
can. Oh. Okay.
I just needed to recuse myself from the vote as my firm is a sub of Amoresco.
That's kind of. Excuse me. All right, so there's been a request to authorize the mayor to submit a request letter to the Grace Harbor Community Foundation for $4.1 million for the capital improvements of the library building and to approve the amended contract with Amoresco. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Right, passes. Thank you.
Thank you. Our third report is requesting the city council authorize $150,000 expenditure for public outreach and preliminary design volunteer project. Whether the acceptance report.
Second.
Seconded by Councilperson Newman. Is there any discussion on this? Yes.
I know this is the mayor's, pet project. He's really looking forward to it. And, I am familiar with Lodi, California. It's an agricultural community, a wonderful community, but very different from Grays Harbor. And if I'm, I would love nothing more than to see Aberdeen improve with this project on Broadway. But I can't vote for it because I feel like we have other issues that we need to deal with first, and we definitely need a bathroom downtown. So, but those of you who want to vote for it, and if it's successful, I will buy the mayor a steak dinner. So, yes, so that's, don't hate me for my vote.
I'm sorry, Director Scott, did you want to add something?
Yeah, this report is before you tonight. Part is, the economic development, workshops that you've had in the past. This came out as one of your number one projects as council. And then our Economic Development Advisory Committee, has also recommended this project. They came to you at that workshop. This is the next phase. Public Works had the transportation analysis done, looking at Broadway. That is complete. The next phase is taking that information, holding public workshops to engage the public, get input from the businesses as well as the impacted residents, and then also have a preliminary design. That is the next phase. So one of your tasks that you tasked the Economic Development Advisory Committee with was coming back with projects that will increase economic development. And Mr. Hoagland was right. This type of project, creating a center square in town, will develop, will provide a place for people to gather. It does encourage economic growth and development in the buildings that are empty around that area. It encourages outdoor activity and again, just places to gather. Our city was one of those that was designed and developed without a center square. We're not like New York or any of the other big cities, even Centralia Chehalis that has a center square. We were developed around transportation. So this is our take of the next step on going forward with developing a phased approach on what it would look like to make Broadway a pedestrian plaza.
But before you leave, just for the record, to answer a question from earlier, how much was the grant for the study, transportation study?
I would defer that to Public Works.
Thank you.
Okay, we got $150,000 from COG for a planning grant. We moved that ahead at direction from council and the mayor to use TBD money to do our preliminary traffic study. That was about $50,000. We got our tech memo on Monday and we're reviewing that now. It looks like the the study is penciling out like we thought it would. And that's why we're moving forward with the idea of moving into some kind of a more thorough design, analysis, and outreach, because it will be controversial to some people. It's the stupidest project on the books next to the roundabout, so at least that's what social media says. Anything else?
Okay,
One thing also is that the $150,000 that we did get in the grant, that was a planning grant. We didn't use that $150,000 because it wasn't going to be implemented until 28. So now when we move forward in 28, we have $150,000 sitting in a nest egg that should be able to be moved directly into construction or whatever else needs to be done. So we contacted Vicki Cummings at COG, and she said that is a possibility and most likely a scenario. So.
Okay, and if we don't.
One thing, the restroom is going to be a part of this. So for us, it may be multiple restrooms, but when we look at it holistically, we want to look at where the best spot is to gather. We've talked about potentially even covering a portion of Broadway, what makes sense for the restroom to locate, what makes sense to pick up additional parking that we may be closing off. So there's so many moving parts, and this will be a phased project, but definitely restrooms are a part of that.
Thank you.
Councilmember Hubbard would like to have something to say online.
Yes.
Lisa just hopped in and said exactly what I was going to say. I just wanted to remind council that when the EDAC presented our projects, we also then polled council to see what the top projects were for them. And of course, restrooms were up there, youth activities were up there, but also one of the most popular ones was this Broadway Plaza concept. And we have as a priority for EDAC, including restrooms in that. So voting for this to move forward is not voting against the restrooms. In fact, it will help support.
Thank you. Any other, council comment? Not sure. Director Williams.
Okay, Francie,
Yes.
Gagan. Hotchkin.
Yes.
Unfortunately, no. Hubbard,
Yes.
Moynihan,
Yes.
Nipper,
No.
Fredo,
Yes.
Tragic,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Swore,
Yes.
Taylor, Wilson,
Yeah, Gaten, did you comment?
he did.
You
Yeah.
did? Okay.
Yes.
thank you. Thanks.
Okay, we have 9-3, so just motion passes.
Thank you. All right, now we're gonna go back, to public safety, which I
Still have two more.
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, two more. Yeah, you're right.
We've got, a resolution, it's requesting the city council adopt the resolution setting a public hearing to receive comments on the proposed 2027 to 2032 transportation improvement plan. I move that we accept this request.
Second.
Been seconded by Councilperson Nepper. Is there any discussion? All in favor of request? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that this resolution is setting the public hearing for the next meeting in May, so it's May 27th. And I have requested that Public Works post the transportation improvement plan on our website separately from the agenda packet so that people have the opportunity to review it and share their feedback during that public hearing.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, there's been a request by, for the city council to adopt a resolution setting a public hearing to receive comments on the proposed 27 to 2032 transportation improvement plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? It's adopted. Thank you.
All right, and our last item is a proclamation recognizing and celebrating the week of May 17th to 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week.
Do you need a second on that?
Yeah.
Okay, you got my second.
Okay, it's been seconded by, Councilperson Hoskins. All in favor? Oh, is there any discussion?
I've been on the Public Works Board for years, and I just welcome it. Yeah, thank them for their work, and they do a good job. It's easy to move around our city, and it's. I just appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I echo those sentiments. Pipes are buried, and so we really take for granted our public works workers. We don't recognize that the streets that we drive down, that our school buses take, the sidewalks that our children walk along, or the bike lanes that our bicyclists ride along, and the water that you turn on, or even the ability to flush your toilet. That's all thanks to a public works worker. So I really appreciate, I think that they are unsung heroes of our cities. They are also considered first responders. They're also very important. You can live without electricity. You cannot live without water. Water is the most important thing that a city can provide its community. And so I really thank Rick Sanger He's worked tremendously hard and he's made bold sweeping changes to the culture of our Public Works Department. And it's really nice to see. He's got a great team. And there's a lot of people working for the community of Aberdeen, all hours of the night. So I'd like to really thank them.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, we're asking for a proclamation recognizing and celebrating the week of May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.
Okay, that's all from Public Works. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, public safety, but Chairperson Hubbard.
We do not have any items for council or a report to give tonight.
Right. Now move on to special committee items, Council President's Board.
First, we have a motion requesting the city council pass a resolution appointing voting delegates to participate in the Association of Washington Cities annual meeting. Would we accept this request?
Second.
Is there any, oh, I'm sorry, second by Councilperson Nipper. Is there any discussion on this? Council President's Board.
I have something. I have a question.
After, yeah.
I defer.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Councilperson.
I was just wondering, we are sending 2 delegates to this conference. And so my question was, why can't we just require them to do the voting since we're sending them to it anyway?
AWC has requested that we have an official council action that identifies the representatives.
The comment I was going to add is just that we do indeed have 2 people attending this conference. Council members Hubbard and Council members Moynihan will be attending. And Council member Wilson has volunteered to be our 3rd delegate attending virtually for this meeting specifically.
I'll be biased. Then, all right, so, any more discussion? All in favor, there was a request. The city council passed a resolution appointing voting delegates to participate in the Association of Washington Cities annual meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That will be councilperson before we go. It's councilperson, is it Hubbard?
Hubbard.
Hubbard,
Moynihan,
Moynihan,
Wilson.
and Wilson will attend virtually.
Okay. All right. Passes. Thank you.
Next, we have a motion requesting the city council pass a resolution implementing a legislative break for the city council from July 27th, 2026 to August 21st, 2026. And would we accept the resolution?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this?
Can I say something?
Yes.
So I may be wrong, but if I remember right, during December, we canceled pretty much the last 2 meetings because of holidays. And so I would encourage you guys all to vote no to take a break during this period and maybe look at taking December off. Since those meetings, if I remember right, were canceled last year. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I would chime in and just say that this legislative break is a little different than last year. The timing of last year had us taking both meetings in August off. This specific break, the way it's slated now, we would be taking off the 3rd meeting in July and the 1st meeting in August. We do typically cancel those 3rd meetings unless there are agenda items to have. And specifically to your comment about the meetings that were canceled last year, we try not to cancel anything in November and December in advance because if the budget isn't passing, then we need to have those meetings time the budget pass. But
Thank you. Any other discussion? Then request the council pass a resolution implementing legislative break for the city council from July 27th 2026 to August 21st, 2026. All in favor? Passes. Thank you. All right, so now we'll move on to public comments again. If there anybody that would like to make public comment, please limit your comment to 3 minutes. Start off with your name and the board or have the person.
April, I, Third Ward. And I'm kind of glad I'm here tonight, because if I would have been here a couple weeks ago, there probably would have been some choice words and name calling. Because a couple weeks ago, I had a man walk by my yard and his dog attacked my dogs in my yard. He attacked the fence line. Now, mind you, we are in our own yard, minding our own business. And this gentleman had his dog off the leash. Is that right? No, it's not. I shouldn't have to worry about what my dogs do in my yard. So, officers were called. Officers got there. I had to have one officer mansplain me stuff. Wasn't appreciative of that. And I also showed the video because I have surveillance in front of my house and in the back of my house. Not only did this man think it was funny that his dog was attacking my dogs, he continued to walk that way, going towards Essex, without his dog on a leash. My gate was opened. I didn't want my dogs attacking his dog. So I confronted him in my driveway. This gentleman turns around and starts chest bumping me. 62 years old, and I held my ground. I shouldn't have to hold my ground against a man chest bumping a woman. Because my dogs were in their own yard. I sent 3 emails. 2 of them were satisfactory. 1 of them was not. One of them blamed me that I did not train my dogs well. Blamed me that my dogs don't know how to behave in their own yard. Didn't mention that this man chest bumped me all the way across the street, a 62-year-old woman. So, the officer also told me that Chris doesn't have time to babysit Sam Van Park. I didn't ask him to babysit Sam Van Park. I remember when I moved in here in 1990, I was a volunteer at the animal control when Chris and Jackie were here. Why cannot Chris now get some volunteers, get some help where she can have boots on the ground, where she can patrol not only Sam Van Park, but other parks. You remember, right? This happened last year when a dog at the Frisbee Park attacked a lady walking in front of my house, and she had to get her taser out because this dog was not on a leash. And I hope that that person that blamed me and my dogs doesn't blame that lady. And if you get an email, council members, and you don't know what to say, maybe I suggest you talk to the city administrator or the attorney and be a little more polite on your replies and quit blaming the victim.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
I won't keep going, just a couple more things. I didn't get to finish my year. So this is from Rebecca T. We've lived in a walkable neighborhood and walked to the bank, post office, library, etc. for many years. But that all stopped when our city became overrun with addicts who are 100% unpredictable. As many are not only high and out of control at times, but also have mental health issues. We ended up getting training and concealed carry permits because we felt so unsafe. And then the last one was from James A. He says the entire downtown smells like urine and there's feces on the sidewalks. The junkies are doing drugs out in the open. I keep my head on a swivel. Well, it's far from safe. When my house burned down, I spent the first night in the woods with the coyotes because it felt safer than being on the streets. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about was I appreciate the reminder that there's openings on the different boards, like the Economic Development Advisory Committee. I know 3 people, myself included, that applied for the Utility Rate Advisory Committee. And that closed at the end of March, and we still haven't heard anything about it. So if we can get some answers for that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, with those public comments, is there anything from the council for the good of the order? So President Swan.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that council proceeds, or council allows staff, to pursue a quote from Portland Loop for a bathroom in the downtown.
Second.
Is there any discussion? There's a motion to allow staff to pursue a quote from Portland Loom. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Thank you, that passes.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
okay.
Councilperson
For the good of the order, I would just be interested, April, in knowing if there's any ordinances that we have about dogs being on a leash, if there's any fine, and definitely for anybody physically touching you. So, we'll look into that. Things like that. Okay, well, you can change that though. Yeah, okay, we'll look into that.
I did have one more thing I wanted to
Yes.
say. In the beginning of the year, when we were all redistributed or were added to new committees with the council turnover, I put together a packet, distributed to each of you, stress the importance of reporting out on these committees and the other meetings that you attend. Here we are, almost 5 full months into this new year, and the same people are reporting every council meeting. And there are many committees that we do not hear from. So I again urge you to please use the council report time to talk about the meetings that you go to. Even if it's just as simple as I attended these 3 meetings since our last council meeting, that would be great. It would do a lot for public engagement. It would demonstrate that we are doing something other than meeting on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. I wanted to just check in with all of you. All of you have received, you received them a couple weeks ago, or far longer ago, the people that are interested. And so, can I bring that back? If you can let me know if your wards have talked and if you have made a decision about who will be representing your, wards. So on the utility rate advisory committee, okay? I supplied all of those letters to the affected wards already. Okay, and then so that I can come back and we can make it official at the next meeting. I don't know if because the way it works is that the 2 council members were supposed to talk and then let me know if they have decided if they want the people that have applied. So, and then, because otherwise it defaults to the mayor to make a selection. So I just need the 2 council members from each ward to let me know if it's a thumbs up. Okay?
Thank you. Anything else?
I had something to say.
Let's go with Councilperson Gagan first.
I was trying to make this comment during the voting for the Broadway project, but I got caught up trying to navigate the app to raise my hand and then the vote was cast. But I just wanted to say that it's been a long time since our city has done something positive for the whole community. And with this being finally done, it feels like there's finally some closure. So like I've been wanting a bathroom downtown since day 1 of being on council. And I'm really happy that we finally got this in motion and that we'll have something that we can leave. We can, it's like a legacy. Like we really haven't done much as a council even before us. That it's just like we tried with the Gateway Center, and that was just too much, I think, and it wasn't what we needed. And I think this is a good compromise for it, and I'm just really glad that it's finally all happening.
Thank you, Councilor.
So next Thursday, the Harbor Learning Center, you're going to see students out there kind of helping with community service, just kind of keep an eye out for students walking around. We're gonna have a whole group out picking up garbage, people painting different places. So just kind of wanted to give a little fair warning. You're gonna see about 125 students out and about.
Okay, thank you, Councilor.
All right, so I would like to maybe make the first 2 weeks of June student or youth recognition weeks, to recognize the students who are graduating, or students who are moving up to the high school level, or even graduating our college. That usually takes place in early June. So I would maybe like to see us make those 2 weeks dedicated to the students who did lots of hard work.
Resolution. So we can put together a resolution and I would take it up a notch and I would say, let's do the whole month of June because you have students that graduate from the beginning of the month all the way through to the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. If you need help with collecting garbage, just reach out to us and we'll.
Yeah, I'll let the teacher who's in charge of that know.
All right, so now we'll go into a process. I need a motion.
I would like to make a motion that we go into a closed session for no more than 15 minutes to review negotiations on the performance of publicly bid contracts and public knowledge regarding such consideration would cause the likelihood of increased costs.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor of going into a closed session for 15 minutes?
Aye.
And we'll return at 7:52.
Okay.
Yes. Why didn't you ask?
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. Okay.